Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna leave that like that.
I know, exactly.
I'm like, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I just, if you knew I was gonna try to move it, I'm aware, but.
No, I'll go talk to
You
them.
know. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Hi. How's it going? Hear me clap 5 times. I'm just kidding. You hear that teacher that, hey, Michelle, come on in. How are you? Good. All right. Good morning. Welcome to not Workshop Wednesday, but welcome to our Google My Business Master Series. Everybody say hi to Lacie.
Hi, Lacie.
Hey.
Good morning.
So, y'all wanted us, thank y'all for coming. It's gonna be an awesome several weeks, okay? Lacie Verner, I'm gonna let her kind of introduce herself and tell you about her background and where she comes from, but she's with a company called West. Okay, and I'll let her kind of explain what West does for you guys. And I mean, a lot of you have already met her one-on-one. Raise your hand if you had a one-on-one session with Lacie. Anybody? Yes. Okay, cool. So, y'all, she's can't say enough things about her. Fantastic on the marketing and technology side of our business. Okay, strictly there. Doesn't have to bother you for a bunch of crazy stuff and send a bunch of crazy business, but she does work kind of coincide with WFG National Title as well. And so if you ever worked with them in that company, they do a ton of stuff, and this is kind of their sister company, and they help you out of the goodness and kindness of their heart, just to kind of honest. So really appreciate Lacie being here this morning. Before we get started, if you need to go to the bathroom, restrooms are right out that back door. There's 2 of them. Okay. Man on this side, one on this side, man on this side, one on that side. I'm kidding. They're all the same.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I think I'm going in the man.
This bathroom, if you're going out there on the left, we're having some issues with the lock, so maybe give a tap if the door's closed, so that way you don't. Well,
Walk
we
in
got
on
somebody,
anybody?
yeah, we have somebody
Awesome.
coming today to fix it, right?
Perfect. Bathroom's broken. No big deal. We still have another one. Be all right. And then water, stuff like that. And we really want to take a break. It's only an hour class. So y'all just dive in, enjoy. Lacie, take it away. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Good morning. I love all the smiling faces. It's wonderful. I'm now smiling because I made it. Usually I'm not running in the door at 10 o'clock on the dot to get set up, but I ended up, I guess directions matter. I ended up the southeast side of Green Oaks and just a few exits up, but it was a race to get over there. So thank you all for being patient and having me here. Today we are going to be claiming our name on Google. You will need a Gmail account. Hopefully, it looks like everyone here, most have a laptop, but if not, take notes, and it's going to be step by step. My goal is to make the best use of your time and just get things done while we're together, because your time is valuable, your time is money. Let's knock it out and get it done well. As Andrew said, my name is Lacie, and I work with a fantastic company called West. We are a nationwide team of marketing and technology nerds who work with realtors and lenders all across the United States in different markets, just helping with your business strategy, with your marketing strategy, best use of technology that's out there. Any ideas that you have on your business. Kind of great thing about what I have with my team is you have an idea, I can run it by my team and say, hey guys, have you done this before? We run case studies, we've seen what works in different markets, working with those top producers. And so it's a fun job with a lot of different skill sets throughout the company. We are the sister company to WFG National Title. Williston Financial Group Company is our parent company, but I'm glad to be here. It is through WFG that I get to teach classes like this, and also work individually with realtors all across Texas, mostly in the DFW area. That's where WFG has the most, most offices across the Metroplex. So we will get started and jump in. The goal here today is to, of course, be found on Google. So wanting you to show up as your search result, of course, when someone searches your name, that you are showing up there and claiming that top portion of the screen where it's most important. And also that, you can compete for your spot if someone doesn't know your name and they're looking for a realtor. That's the goal, right? Getting more business from those, even outside of those who may be looking, for you specifically. So my history, so I've spent over a decade working with small businesses, a lot of startups, and I do web development design. That's been my background, and now doing that full time in real estate. And so each of you is a small business, operating of itself, and there's so much out there as far as technology and tools available. But just from my background, my experience, no matter what industry, consumers now rely on what they find online, just as much as they do a referral. So we're seeing more and more that, those who might be in a demographic where they're now able to, or looking to purchase a home, they're ready to purchase a home, they're going to get that referral from mom, dad, aunt as to what realtor they're going to use. And they're going to appreciate that referral, but they're still going to do the research. But now they take that extra step and do the research themselves. And so we want to be sure that the presence online is strong and, and that it's compelling so that people will take that step and contact you. So what we'll be looking at is the Google My Business listing. It is a strong presence that appears on a Google search. And it also does help with, just that SEO, so search engine optimization. This is just a Google Trends report that I ran. This was midsummer that I ran end of June with the search term realtors near me. And this is over the course of 5 years. And so just looking at that, we can see, and I was more curious just in the market, with all the, the chatter and what we're hearing, are people looking to buy, sell, are they searching? But what I found is that it's the highest it's been, in the course of 5 years. And so another, just interesting note there is I did also run real estate agent, and that search term is just not used. And so that to me says we need to be using the word realtor, using that language in how we present ourselves, and being sure that that word is included, capital R, not like that. But interesting note there. And then just with the search, so we want to be sure that you're the local option, right? With such a local business that you have, that the information that you're putting up ties you to that local area, your target areas. And so with Google My Business, these are just a few of the benefits of it, is taking charge of that first impression. So of course that search that you're showing up right there, and you have a good visual representation of who you are. You can include your essential info, so your business description, phone number, the exact website that you want them to go to, not all those other, who knows what, that's going to be competing on the left side of the screen. Also your photos will, that shows your business, shows your brand, shows your personality, using those within that Google business listing, and connecting with clients and your leads. So you have the ability to create posts to your Google business listings. That's keeping current. And to me, that's keeping keywords, because we're creating text on there. Reviews, which is key, right? So that 5 stars looks great, right? When we search for anything, getting those reviews and responding to reviews, also keywords function through that. And then messaging, so you can chat directly with anyone through your Google business listing, be an instant response to those questions that come in. There is one, and these we will build out over the series, but there's a feature in there for the products menu. And this, to me, is one of the more powerful features. And I know products is a strange term in real estate, but we can be creative, and we can also create some evergreen content. You create it once and let it do the work for you. And so we'll spend some time with that one. And then insights. I'm a data junkie. I like to see things that work and know if something's not working, and then move to things that do, spend time well. The insights are within your Google business dashboard. So you can see how much traffic you're getting, how many people have clicked to go to your website, how many have called, what, if they're viewing certain images on there, all of that's built in easily in the dashboard. So does anyone in here have a Google My Business listing? Okay, so quite a few do. This first class today will be creating one, but if you do already have one, you probably want to be logged into it. There might be some small changes to make just to make sure that it's set up well. For those who don't, if you're not familiar, so what we're looking at, this would be what the Google My Business looks like. We're claiming that right side of the screen. Google's going to think that I'm vain. I feel like every time I search, but I know that mine's going to pop up. But the great thing about this is right off the bat, people can see who I am. They see the company I work for. I've included some keywords, even in just my title. They can see my 5 stars. And you see all of these ads that are running on that left side of the screen that I have no control over. They don't have to worry about that. So I'm telling them exactly where to go, exactly how to find me, and there's more details within it. So that's the goal for you, is creating that today, just getting the initial listing set up, and then we will optimize it over the course of the next few weeks. So, and for this part, Google changes things constantly. So I was in here yesterday and some of the slides weren't quite on. They changed the steps a little. So I'll probably just log in separately here in a second. But for this, we're going to go to google.com/business. And click on Manage Now. It's google.com/business. And yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the blue button. I'm gonna go there with you all. Like I said yesterday when I was on it, I think some of the slides were a little bit different. Let's see, y'all stop me if it does appear different to you. I do recommend being in the Google Chrome browser. Some of the language might be slightly different, but it should be the same steps for the most part along the way. So when you click Manage Now, it should ask you to type in your business name. And like I said, so this is something that is important to make sure that we're doing it correctly. If you already have one, you might need to look at what your business name is and make a little bit of a change there. But we want to be your name. I would say space, dash, space, just for good grammar. Realtor with front real estate. So we want that full name to be what your business name is.
I have a question. I've got 3 accounts listed on Google. So what it's asking me is, do I want to sign out, or what? I mean, it's not.
So you're in your Gmail, you already have 3 business listings?
Personal, business, and my husband's.
Oh, okay, so whichever one would be the one that you want to manage your Google business listing in. You said your personal business, your husband's. So either your personal or your business one. Does your business one, is it an @Gmail? I would choose one of those 2. So either your personal or your business Gmail.
Excuse me. Okay, I got as far as the business or google.com/business or whatever, and I went to manage. I lost you partially because those of us online, I don't think can see your screen. I mean, we can see it, but it's just not, we can't read it. But, and because I was trying to tile my laptop so that I could have both screens up. So now I'm on Find and Manage Your Business. And what are we supposed to do?
You're on Find and Manage Your Business?
Yeah, it says Google, and then it says Find and Manage Your Business. And then, or you can click on Add Your Business to Google.
Let's click on Add Your Business to Google.
Okay.
Can you send me the Zoom link and they can see my screen? So
Yeah, let me, well, just join in on it if you want to do it on yours. Go to your internet. Go to chatwithfront.com, and I'll make you a host. Because that was your screen share. That's fine. Join in, I'll let you in, I'll make you a host.
Not really.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's just-
All right, let's get y'all fixed up.
I will not, or do you want me to connect audio here so they can hear me and then you need that one?
Yeah, I'll mute mine. Mhm.
Recording in progress.
Welcome in.
While you're bringing that up, Lacie, can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
We have husband and wife, so we have the same business. And if I'm logged in, she can't log in, is there a reason? How I ever? There it is.
Yeah, and you can invite her just with her Gmail account. All right, we are sharing, so you should be able to see that.
It's itty bitty tiny.
Yeah, I'll get to a screen that'll be larger here in just a second for you.
Awesome.
Mhm. Okay, I'll log in here and just to be sure that we're on the same. Seeing the same thing here. Real estate. Everyone got to this page, we got our business name noted in there, space dash realtor with front real estate, correct? And then you'll want to select the drop-down box from there. Google, this is a little bit funny if you don't, and you click next, you're gonna have to type it again, not a big deal.
Say that again?
When you start to type it in, it's gonna pull down a gray box and you wanna click on it. Otherwise, when you get to this next screen, that you'll have to type in the business name again.
And you said space dot realtor,
Space dash.
a space dash. It's not letting me do anything. Oh, I know why.
And then when you get to this, this next screen, it's gonna have that business name dropped in there and then business category. We're gonna start to type real estate and select from the list, you'll select real estate agents. And then we will go ahead and click next. You want to add a location that customers can visit, like a store or office. You think?
I am so sorry.
You're okay.
Trying to catch up with you. Okay. My business name is Posterity Real Estate Professional, space dot real estate.
No dot. It would be dash, just a
Oh,
dash.
sorry, dash real estate.
I would include, it sounds like you're a team, maybe.
No, I'm
I
not
would
a
put-
team. I'm not on a team.
Oh, okay. I recommend including the word realtor rather than real estate.
Okay, so my business name, space, dash, and then another space, or just the name realtor?
Yeah, I do a space on both sides of the dash.
And then another space before, and then front real estate company?
Circle R, right?
Yes.
So that has it on mine, Amy, I always forget. Yeah.
For the realtor part.
Yeah. I never,
Yeah.
but on mine it has it, but I don't have front, so how would I? how do I
Yours, if
change
you
that?
already have it in your dashboard, in the info tab,
Okay.
is going to be most of what we address would be in the
Okay,
info
all
tab
right.
first. And then for your business category, you're gonna put in real estate agents. Select that from the list.
I got that one. Now we're on location. Is that where you are?
So next, we'll hit next. Do we want to add a location? I do recommend yes. If the front real estate address, this is going to be brokerage location. It's going to be publicly visible. If the brokerage address makes sense for your business,
Can it be a PO box?
it cannot be a
It's
PO
gotta
box.
be an address, right?
Physical address.
Yeah, so if y'all don't, because we have, a little, we have the. You don't know, I don't usually put your home address down there.
I would not. Do not put your home address.
Okay.
So for this part, if you don't have one, just hit no.
No.
Yeah, we'll hit no. It's going to give you the option to select service areas, and we'll get a good net over there.
And this can
some
be
specific
edited later, I imagine.
It
you get
can
a
be.
location, click on it.
If you do add a location in the future, it might re-verify you. So it'll probably put your listing on hold. It'll all still be there. And then once it's verified, you would get that. But there's not a brokerage address that could be used. I would say choose no. So we do not want to have our personal address on here. Is that going to be the case, right? So there's not on here. Okay. So we would hit no for the time being. Yeah. And so it's going to ask, where do you serve your customers? Sometimes, and I've seen the language, do you offer deliveries? But I'm not seeing it here. Does your business provide deliveries or home and office visits? Yes, we're all over the Metroplex. This is our opportunity to place those areas on the map. I do recommend doing this by county and also by city. So I say lay the blanket, because you might miss that little pocket city that's in there. And if I'm doing a search and I'm in that little pocket city and you're right on the edge, you're not going to pop up on my.
So we can have as many as we, because right now I just have it as DFW Metroplex, basically.
Yeah.
So I specifically identify each county and each city.
I would,
Okay.
yeah. And you can even include DFW Metroplex,
And then
Tarrant
just
County,
add-
Parker County,
Okay.
Fort Worth, Texas, so
just add to
I
it.
say put the blanket out, but then also include those specific
Okay. So
target.
I have a question
cities.
about that. Is there, because on the, when you pull it up, it shows it, but is there a way to embed that in it, or is it all just gonna show on there, on your file? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, as to what your service areas are on
Yeah.
your business description, it'll show up on, it'll show that list on there.
Lacey, mine
Yes.
came up saying Manhattan, New York, and it will not let me change it.
Really?
Yep.
You might need to refresh your,
It's the background. the type
Yeah.
of-
yeah, if you start to type, it should override it.
Okay, so you should put in like Dallas.
Yeah, so I would start with, I think, I usually just for my purposes, start bigger. So think if you want to do Dallas, Fort Worth, I usually go by counties, only because if you're in Fort Worth and that's your main area, you don't want to be, too far all over the map or look like it's.
Gotcha.
It's beyond that. But I do recommend going by county.
Mine are just like long. You type in one.
As you, so as you start to type, it'll pop up recommendations. You want to click on the one that is right. So I started to type Parker County. I didn't do very good typing there, but I'll select it from the list and it's going to put it underneath. And then I'll start with the next one. So Tarrant County, I'll select it from the list. Okay, I'm in Benton County. That makes sense. So your few counties, that net, and then start to type in your cities that are your target areas.
Okay, I like how you're going broader than getting narrow. Is it gonna show up in these orders on our thing?
It
Is that
doesn't.
just a- okay.
And I've tried with other clients. I'm like, why is this one showing up at the top? But
Mhm, okay.
Google's just kind of funny. that
Cool.
way.
As long as
Yeah.
it pulls when it needs to. I just
Right.
wanted to-
Where would I go to see like the binary set up?
Mhm.
What I put when I.
Should be in the info, still in the info tab underneath. You'll go past your name, phone number, website address, and then it should have service areas.
So again, it doesn't matter which order you put them in.
No, for my own thinking purposes, have to do it that way, and you can always come back and add more. So like she's doing now, get some in there today because we want to have it complete, and done, but go back, really think through if there are some that you're missing and add those in. She said, I am your US realtor.
Anywhere.
I love it. You know, only add up to 20 areas.
We've reached the max.
Use them wisely.
Yeah, we've reached the max, yeah. So yeah, get targeted to the ones that really make sense for your business. If United States is your territory, then maybe Texas, depending on what makes sense. But get those in there, add maybe, 6, 8, however many you can now. We'll go ahead and click next, and I'll show you at the end where this information is for you to go back and edit. I'll go ahead with those. I have my service areas. And so this is all going to be visible on your Google business listing. And this is where you'll put in your cell phone number. And then your website. So we want this to be your page, not just the front real estate site. We want it to be your page on that site. So if you need to go to a new tab on your browser and find your website URL, or if you have your own domain, you would put that here. Does everyone know how to find that on the front real estate site? Okay. For those online too, just so you'll get a new tab open at the top, find your web address or if you have your own personal domain, and we'll grab that. Grab your link on that page from the top.
So go to our actual name on the front site.
Right. So I'm sorry for whoever I click on here.
Yeah.
Oh, are these gonna
This
be-
is a different one. Go to frontrec.com.
Right. Can't.
You know that?
Oh, okay. So this is where you list your
And then
information.
Dallas Fort Worth. And then you're gonna scroll out tomorrow. Once you get this. Because y'all, for those of you that don't have a Boomtown website right now, you have a landing page on frontrec.com. I hope you all know that. What that's gonna be, it's to find it, you have to go find yourself and click on your thing, because the landing page on there is not as simple as your IABS, which is frontrealestateco.com/your name. Okay, your landing page is gonna be a very distinct account number, okay, that front unless you have your own domain. If you don't have your own domain, go get one. It's
Yeah.
$12 a year. Okay, you need BobbySellsBigHouses.com, right? You're welcome, okay, $12 a year. Go do it and implement this into your Google My Business listing, okay? Because we're not doing it, you can still you can hyperlink to whatever it is, but if you want to, just have it in here. What you do is go down, if you click on.
Yeah, it's not saying it's not working.
Go.
That isn't you.
I tried.
Just there. Here. Okay, if you're curious where yours is, if you can go to that website, click the Dallas Fort Worth.
There it goes. Okay.
Scroll down.
Once you're on the Dallas Fort Worth part, how do you get yourself?
Company, really small, sorry.
It's going to be, okay. So when you go to dallas.frontrec.com,
And once you click on your
you can do
picture,
that
it will give you
/agents.
your address at the top.
So,
I would suggest go and get a domain, okay? It's just. Better do it. Yes, whatever your hometown is, manofthehat.com, whatever.
I'll drop it in the chat also.
Well.
So if you can't find it, it would be this address here that you'll go to get the agent master. dallas.rec.com/agent. And then you'll find your page here. Click on Bobby because he's right there. And you'll grab the address from the top. Okay, so we've all got that. Sorry. You had to. I like the picture. I like it.
Do you
And so
recommend?
you'll grab that URL, that full URL from the top, and then go back to the tab that has your, that you're working on with the Google My Business, and we'll drop in that URL there.
Will you roll that, will you click back at it? That's perfect. Roll fast, will you click back on Bobby's tab there at the top?
Yes.
Y'all, if you want this big blank white page to be what your clients see when they click on your website on Google My Business, that's what you do. If you don't want this ugly blank white page, okay, get a website.
Yeah.
Okay, $75 a month, Boomtown, it's a $1,500 a month program, you get it really cheap. Who has Boomtown?
Boomtown's good.
Okay, good, okay. You don't have, if you have your hand down, I'm telling you right now, you're missing the point. Okay?
What about,
Go get your own IT guy and get your own website, it's gonna cost you hundreds and hundreds of
I'm
dollars.
sorry. What about,
Okay?
what about clicking on that get a free website based on your info?
I don't recommend that.
Okay.
Google will offer, and I'll show you, she asked a good question. So
Okay.
she said, you know, what about, because here in the options, you know, I told she could grab your URL. If you have a Boomtown site, that's fantastic. You would drop it in here. We never want to say, I don't need a website. You do need a website. It does say here, get a free website based on your info. It is an option. I don't recommend it. An option on here, all it's going to do is pull the info that you're stating on your Google business listing into a very poorly, you have no design, you know, no real design, you know, ability within it, and it doesn't look great. I say send people where it's going to look good. It's going to represent you well. I would just recommend for now grabbing the URL that you have and dropping it in, and then, you know, getting a site as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Good question though. I've seen some agents do it. It just doesn't work.
You can say it looks like crap.
It looks terrible. It looks terrible. Please don't. Yeah, I'm like, it's a safe place. It's bad. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the cell phone. We have our URL, and we'll go ahead and click next. And it's thinking. So right now it's thinking, am I going to verify her on the spot or not? So you probably got to the verify page is next. Oh, okay, so because I have a lot of them, this might look a little different. Stay in the know, I would say no. This is saying, do you want spam emails about Google products? It has nothing to do with your business. And what do you get next? Okay, so since you don't have a physical address that you were able to put on your listing, it's going to ask you for an address here. This one is not going to be seen by the public, and so you would go ahead and and type that address in here. You can put your home address to receive a postcard.
Mine's not finished. I'm still.
So what?
Okay.
Did you put in your cell phone in your website on All right, and with that, so you'll receive in the mail a Google postcard. It says a postcard. It's more of like it looks like an IRS document is the way I like to think of it. Like it'll have the tear off edges. It's going to be somewhat prominent in your mailbox. It does come, pretty well on time. So within a week, you should have it. All that's you're going to tear off the edges, and I'll show you how to get back to this dashboard, and you'll type in that
So I
code.
did type in my address, and then I got to the next screen, and I was able to have a code. So I just put-
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And now it says.
Good. That's wonderful. Yes.
I don't
So
have to
that's,
worry about the postcard.
you don't have to worry about the postcard. That's usually without a, yeah. You're just a lucky one.
I
It's-
think because I already have another Google page. for
Yeah.
Another business, so maybe that's why.
You've used that address to receive a card, maybe. I have like a dozen, and it's still a random, I might get a postcard, I might not.
Our postcard in 3 days.
You got it in 3 days? Yeah, it's really quick. You should get it within a week's time. Yeah, yeah.
This is a silly question, but so the email that I have that is authorized to manage this new page or site or whatever,
Mhm.
it it's not an email that I use for my real estate. Is that okay?
100% okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no one will see that email.
Okay.
But just so long as you have full access to it and know that it's there, then yeah, 100%. So if you're lucky, what's your name?
Emily.
Emily, if you're lucky like Emily, you might get verified on the spot. Otherwise, that postcard will come in the mail and it's within a week's time. And then from there, are we all in the add your services? Okay. So this will be where you just think of the things that you provide for your clients. So you might, I typically say buyer's agent, seller's agent, free home or home valuation reports, consultation. What are things that you provide for them? Real estate consultation, home selling.
You mentioned not using agent, using realtor, so would like, is buyer's agent okay, or?
Buyer's agent's okay. For services, I wouldn't say that a realtor, the word realtor would be included, but we will use it throughout like your business description and other areas on your listing.
Sorry, so what do you recommend?
Yeah, and I'll put them up here and then you can take a picture too if you need to, but so you'll start to type and then you're going to hit add custom service underneath it.
Oh, and then just do that
Yeah.
over and over again. Okay.
And then, yeah. One of those odd, not how I would have
Do
designed
we
it.
need to, like, I guess since it's not pulling them up, we need to like capitalize buyer's agent?
I do. I like, use, these would be
It's a list of yours, what you offer.
the services
right?
that
So
you
this
provide.
could be-
Show up.
You can have it as buyer's agent, listing agent, you could have it as, negotiate, whatever it is, negotiating, whatever you
Yeah.
want to have in there, it's just your service.
But what's being put on here will matter in terms of what's being like searched.
Mhm.
Searching.
Yeah,
So
so keyword search, and I will give you a tool in our third class to use for just, finding keywords. And then you could, once you have that, come back and say, okay, what of that do I need to incorporate into
But then you go back
into
and edit
this?
this.
Yeah.
The question,
Yeah.
maybe in another class, but so we have one set up for our team and we also have our other ones. And I want to start with our team one, it says that services were added or made in your business based on feedback from customers and those data sources. So do people come in and see that, I mean.
When it says other Google sources, that makes me think that it was, because Google does have AI that runs, and if it was something that's not related to, or it felt like wasn't related to real
Well, it
estate.
looks like it added a lot, like investment property, land rentals.
Oh, okay, so it added services.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it probably found your information based on your name and your online presence
Mhm.
through websites, even social media and things like that, that you're active on or groups,
Okay.
and then associates that with your
So
business.
probably if they recommend those, you should use them
Mm.
more than likely,
If you
something
want-
you don't-
if you
Unless
you
it's
don't do.
something, yeah, unless it's something really bad. Yeah.
So like we should
Then-
get commercial lands off.
Yeah, it connects well, like I'll tell you this, when it found that I was on DW Real Estate Investment on Facebook, that big Facebook group, it will add things about from that group that's in there. And like you asked about, and add like electrician tools and home or light, I was like, no.
You're getting different kinds of consults, yeah.
Literally not how to do that, but no, so please don't get to watch that stuff, because it does it. It
Yeah.
helps you and at the same time, it can also add things you don't want on there.
Yeah, I'm just coming up, these are just basic, but what makes sense to your business, I would list them here. And then as we get those keywords, these would be where you would go back and really make it about you. And you can always, again, this is one of those that you can modify later. And so we'll get in 5 or 6 or more if you've already done that. And then we'll go ahead and click next.
Yes.
The blue button at the bottom. And then we should be on the business hours. I typically recommend having some form of business hours. Of course, many are 24 hours and you can stick with that. It's not going to do anything harm. I just, from what I've seen and what we typically set up, match some form of business hours up there. And that can be 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., something that makes sense for you. Yeah, that way,
Should we do 7 days a week? Obviously, we're gonna.
if
show
you,
stuff
yeah, yeah.
weekends.
If you operate 7 days a
You'll
week,
answer the phone on Sundays.
yes. And I would just say, Sunday you might put, 1 to 5, that's my hours, just something that's reasonable for you. This is one of my least favorite pages on the setup because you have to start to type on each one of them. So yeah, so you're gonna click add business hours for Sunday. I'm gonna put 1 o'clock. So I'll start with 1, select it, 1, select the 1 p.m. from the list. I put till 5, so I'll start to type that and select it from the list. There's no way to duplicate it. So if we're 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., you have to go each one and type it in.
Come on.
So if you have 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Mhm.
Somebody Googles your stuff at 9 p.m.
It'll still
pop up.
It'll still pop up. It'll say that technically it'll say
It'll
that
say you're
you're
closed.
closed, but that your business hours, you'll be open again at 8 a.m.
Has a store or a shop or a restaurant being closed ever thought you can call them? It's not. Okay, your phone number's still gonna be there. They can
Right.
click on it and call you. And just know that you're technically. Which means, guess what? If they call you and you're closed and you answer.
All the better.
It's kind of a cool thing. It's showing that you're actually answering the phone. Before or
Yeah,
after
you're
hours.
going above and beyond what you are even marketing to the public that you would do. So
I love a restaurant. I'm like, hey, I'm going there.
mhm. All right, I know that is repetitive and annoying. And when you get to the end, you kind of have to scroll down and then select it. I'll let y'all finish up there. We've got business hours, and then we'll go ahead and click next. All right, add messaging. So you do have the ability here to receive messaging through your Google business listing. If you do get a message, it will notify you by email, right away. You can also download, there is an app for your phone, a Google My Business app, to where you'll get that notification right there. You do have to respond to that message, unless they leave their phone number, or contact info, respond to that message within your Google business listing. So it's completely up to you. We don't see that a lot of people use it. As far as contacting realtors, they're typically going to pick up the phone or email. But if you know your communication style and your response, I would say if it's something that you're going to be able to respond to quickly and you're going to acknowledge, then say yes. If not, then turn it off.
Is it gonna go into like a spam folder, or because it's a Google platform, it'll pop up?
It'll be right in your Gmail. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll come to your primary.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then, so should we have people we know, like send us a couple messages so we get a good response time in there?
You could, I would say if you're going to do the local service ads or some kind of ad, because that does it takes notice to your response time, then yes. Otherwise, it's really, really about you. So knowing yourself, I say choose yes or no. If you'll be able to respond quickly to those coming in. And then business description. So this is where you will drop in your shortened version of your bio. Does everyone in here have a bio written? Does anyone in
Raise
here
your
have a
hand.
bio written? Okay, we got about half, 50%. It's usually the case. Yeah.
One quick question. I didn't get to that yet. Mine says turn on call history.
Oh, okay. Okay. So mine doesn't do that, I think, because I have it turned off.
Oh, is that because of the messaging?
I turned my messaging on,
Oh, okay.
but call history, I think on my other ones, I have it turned off. Again, it's up
So
for,
it says turn on or don't turn on.
you can turn it, you can turn it on. I don't think it's it wouldn't do any harm to have it, and you can see it within your Google dashboard as part of your. So in your business, and then you should get, when you click next, are you at the business description? Okay. This is where you'll drop in a shortened version of your bio. Typically, it's about 2 paragraphs, so it's 750 characters. So for the half in the room that do have one, we'll grab that. Usually the first paragraph of your bio should include that you're a realtor, I should say that, and also some form of local mention. So Fort Worth native, or serving the Fort Worth area, a realtor with Front Real Estate. That language should be in the first line or 2 of your bio anyway. If not, that can be, just take note and modify that later, but we will want to grab that first portion and drop it in here.
So if we're gonna work on that later, do we just skip it for now and then it'll let us go back to info and add it in there?
Yep. Yeah,
And
it's
this
gonna be on
might
the
be a
info.
silly question, but should I say, I am blah, 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 or just say realtor with blah, blah, blah?
For this, on the Google business listing, I think first person is a bit
Okay.
off-putting.
Okay.
I think third person makes more sense here.
Okay.
Just, but depending on your brand too, if you're branded a certain way, it might make sense. But describing your business on here, I would use third person. But I would include your name. So, my name, realtor with Front Real Estate Company, serving the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or is a realtor with Front Real Estate
Okay.
Company, serving the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then go into, if you have any niche market, I would include that too. So grab that. If you do have it on your website, have your bio there, you can, of course, go to that and, copy the text and paste it in, modify what's needed down to that 750 characters. And you do want it somewhat like formatted, not, you want this to be, able to read like paragraph form. So.
I want to jump in real quick. So Barbara Perez, she just mentioned that, hey, she heard there were changes coming to tracking and that 24 hours on the timeline is best for tracking, so you don't show it's closed when someone searches. So we'll keep an eye on that and
Okay.
see if Google's going to change something. And if it does, we'll come back to you guys in the next 5 something like that. Let you know if we should go back and edit the hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Barbara.
Thank
Awesome.
you. That's, great note.
What did he say? I couldn't quite make it out.
What did you say, Andrew?
Can you hear me now? Is that loud enough? So Barbara Perez jumped in real quick and said, hey, that Google, they might be coming out and changing some of the tracking when it comes to your Google searches on there. And so there's a possibility, and we'll come back to you next week. I'll try to do some research on that. If they change some tracking, it might say that turning off the 24-hour open, if you're closed, that it might change what it shows for how you're tracking people that are looking for you, like how you're trying, like realtor in Pantego, or whatever it is. So if that is the case, they're going to change how they track that. We'll let y'all guys, let y'all know in the next week or 2. And we can change that back on your edit, your business hours. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have some research to do here a little bit too. So that's got my wheels spinning. I'm like, I wonder. So it does make sense, but okay. So we'll get that business description, get it dropped in here, just a portion of your bio, including the word realtor and some form of local mention to your target areas. And then as you do that, did you get to the photo screen with next? Okay, so this we're going to skip for today. Next week's class is going to be all about the photos. There are some very key elements that you can use as a realtor, just a little extra step before uploading a photo that will really, it places location. So we're gonna do some geotagging, like a nerdy SEO thing, but we're gonna get those photos really optimized to where, you're saying, I am in this neighborhood, this is my zone. And so for today, even down to your headshot, we'll get those all done. So for today, we're gonna skip the photos.
All right, so big takeaway from that, do not go home and pump a bunch of photos into your Google My Business page.
If you already have them, it's okay. If you already have them, that's 100% okay. But if you don't go out anymore.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it will be.
Have content, have photos.
Yes.
Have them ready.
And you'll get an email with what to bring for next week's class, or like what to have. So
Like
that you
yourself, bring yourself,
bring yourself. And even if, for some reason, if you don't get your verification card or, by mail, they're in order for that reason. Next week's class, we'll still be able to get done. It's okay. So don't worry if that for some reason is delayed. You can claim your free credit. It'll also be in your dashboard for you to claim at any time. So for today's purpose, we'll skip that, claiming your free credit. And then when we skip that, your profile is almost ready. We'll click continue. And we're done. So this will be the Google Business Dashboard. One quick, just way to get here for future reference as you're managing your Google Business Dashboard. Of course, I do recommend if you have an iPhone downloading, it's a Google My Business app. It'll have a little blue marketplace. But also if you're logged into your Gmail account, you can see in the top right corner that I'm logged in here. Right next to my face is the Google waffle, is what I would call it. And within that are all of the Google products that I use. Since if you just started today with setting up your Google business listing, it's not going to show up yet. But when you log back in, close the browser, open the browser back up, it should pop up there. And that's just the quickest, easiest way to get to any of your Google products, but especially the Google business. You have to type it all out or make a book. But that's it.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right,
appreciate
anybody
it.
have any immediate questions before we wrap up? You have 6 seconds for your hand. 3 minutes left. Okay. Everything okay?
Oh.
Awesome. Everybody give Lacie a big round of applause. I'll be here next week, same time, 10 o'clock, it's only 10 to 11. Y'all come, join. I think next week is what? What's our?
It will be
It's
yeah,
photo stuff
that'll be
on there. It's kind of the local, local results. It's how to get found locally in your area.
Yeah.
So come next week. Okay, we'll be right back here in our old mortgage, 2715 West. Y'all have a great day. Same time next week.
Like over at
Right here.
Well,